That'd be your deepest, darkest material.
But it's well smart. I think it's. I'll find out. Sorry.
All right, you guys. Well, I think I'm just gonna get started here. Oh, there we go. Haitian based. Hey, babe. There's one person watching. Hey.
Fuck you and your earthquakes.
And your delicious cuisine.
That too.
Yeah. I mean, I love.
Which is probably under a lot of rubble right now.
Yeah. Oh man, really? Yeah. I'm sorry to hear that. Sorry that things aren't going well in Haiti right now. That's ignorant. All right, you guys. Welcome to the. He's waving at us. Hey, buddy. It's good to see you. Yeah, welcome to the Speakeasy Comedy Show, you guys. Thanks for being here. Today is officially the 12th month that I've been running this show, which means this is the anniversary of the Speakeasy Comedy Show. So happy anniversary! Yeah.
Happy anniversary!
Thank you. Thank you so much. I couldn't have done it without you guys, and I couldn't have done it without all of you here in this room. So thank you so much for believing in live stand-up comedy and keeping it alive this past year. I've also, for all of you out there who are listening right now, I've just put a link at the very beginning of the group chat here. It's a GoFundMe, and if you think that I should be paying these wonderful individuals for their time and you want to support live comedy, any amount, $5, $10, $20 million is whatever you can afford. Yeah, donate and keep this thing rolling for another year, man. So, good to see you guys. Yeah, the whole point of Speak Easy is you're free to speak easily about any topic that you're feeling passionate about right now. Just try and make it funny. You can come up here, you can talk about the news, or sports, or weather, or whatever's trending right now. What's trending right now? I guess vaccines are trending. Do you guys get it? You got it? You got vaxxed? You vaxxed up?
Yeah.
Woo!
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah. I'm thinking about it. I don't know. I don't know what I want to do yet. Some of the names are a little silly for me though. Like they got the AstraZeneca. Whoa. That sounds like it's administered rectally if you ask me. And yeah, if you want to see someone posting about it on social media, you have to visit their OnlyFans, AstraZeneca, So, I mean, speaking of people posting on social media about getting their vaccine, if you did that, man, I immediately unfollowed you. Come on. I'm not like some weird anti-vaxxer or anything like that, okay? It's just, I unfollowed you for the same reason that I would unfollow someone who is like shotgunning a beer because it's May 2 for. You know what I'm saying? You're following the trends. Okay, I don't follow the trends. I'm a trend, I wouldn't even say I'm a trend setter. I'm just like a trend not doer. Yeah. Like, those houndstooth scarves? I started wearing those way after Afghanistan, Like way 2009, But I mean, I was fat in high school, so I didn't really have fashion, It was just always jeans and a hoodie. So you throw a houndstooth scarf on my body then, I was ready for the bars. I look good. Fucking so fashionable, houndstooth. Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
It's a type of pattern. Yeah, man, we got 4 people watching. Then they got the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, but I think it's just one Johnson now. God. Man, don't those guys specialize in making baby oil? Then it's, it's giving you heart problems and a blood clot. Maybe they should tell people you're not supposed to chug baby oil to get rid of COVID, man. That's not how you beat it. They need to work on their PR. Yeah, then they got the Moderna. I like the sound of that. Okay, sounds pretty futuristic. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get my Moderna shot and then I'm gonna jump in my space car and go on a date with my Mars boyfriend. But I probably won't do it right away because I don't do the trends, I'll probably do it way down the line once it's not even called Moderna anymore and Amazon's bought it. It's called Rocky 5 vaccine or something. And I'll be like, Moderna! That's a stupid joke. You know, because Adrian. Yeah. Then they got Pfizer. Change it. It sucks. There's too many letters in that name, man. Where do you get off, Pfizer? What are you, a psychologist? Are you gonna shank me with your knife if I don't get your vaccine? Use less letters. Yeah, use less letters and then we'll talk. Man. Yeah. So vaccines are trending. It's June. You know what that means? Wedding season! Right? Every girl wants a ring in June, doesn't she? Which is funny, right? Because then most men want their ring in February. Tom Brady, you know? Doesn't make any sense. I guess there's not so many differences, though, because most people in the audience are, like, fake cheering for you, you know? And then there's always, like, a tight end on either side, like, party pooper, you know? And then, yeah, if it all doesn't end up working out, she's not going to want a quarterback. She's going to want half. Oh, man, I've been writing that joke for so many years. The Super Bowl, weddings. They're relatable, for sure. They're both trendy. Super trendy. Yeah, man. Bubbly. Sponsor us. The link for my GoFundMe is in the chat box. Yeah, weddings are trending. Man, people are getting pregnant over COVID too. COVID babies. What's good? What are you doing? Don't have a kid because you're bored. Man, if you had a kid during the pandemic and you weren't planning on having a kid before the pandemic, then fucking shotgun a beer on May 24. I'm unfollowing you. Shit. I don't know if I should talk about this. This is Speakeasy, man. Speakeasy. My cousin, actually, my youngest cousin, he got a girl pregnant during the pandemic. Nice. Okay? And the kid was born on December 22nd. So if you subtract 9 months from that, that's March 22nd. They were 6 days into the fucking pandemic, man. That's so soon. We're just like, oh my god, I'm so bored. Let's just not use a condom. Yeah. So he calls me, you know. He says, a couple weeks before the kid was due, he's like, Tara, I just wanted you to hear this from me, but I'm going to be a dad. I was like, wow. That's crazy, man. Good for you. I'm supportive. Don't worry about it. It's going to be fine. You're 28 years old. Like, this is a normal age for that. Don't worry. And he says, well, I wanted to tell you first because I know that you've been through this sort of thing before and that you wouldn't judge me. I was like, okay. Like, I've been pregnant twice. I don't have any kids, you guys. You're right about me. I'm a monster. Sure, man. Sure. I don't judge you. I'm there for you. I support you. He's like, okay. I want you to follow her on Instagram and watch my son grow. I'm like, okay, I'm involved now. So 5 months goes by, and I'm watching his son grow, and it occurs to me that he hasn't actually met him yet. And she keeps using the reason COVID. We can't meet your son because of COVID. And I'm like, bro, that's a fucking shotgun a beer on May 2 for a reason to fucking use. You okay? I don't like that shit. I don't like that reason. There's ways around it is what I'm saying. So I did a bad thing. I did a boring thing, and I shot her a message, and I said, hey, he's growing up so fast. He looks so good. When does he get to meet his dad? Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Okay? I'm not talking like 10 minutes later, my cousin calls me, and he's all, F you, and F this, and you're an effing piece of that, and F. And I'm like, I get it. Your mom left early. Slam. But I don't understand, man. I thought you wanted me to be involved. I'm on your side. I'm doing this for you. And then I realized if things just keep going the way that they are, my cousin never has to meet his son. And then I realized what we really have in common after all. Having a kid for a man is like having an abortion for a woman. You gotta live with it. Or do you? Oh my God. It took me a while to get there. I am not going to be invited to Christmas this year. Who am I kidding? I wasn't invited last year either. So you guys, that's the type of show that we're doing up here today. Thank you so much for joining us on the live stream. We've got Ruth Coyote, we got Adam Tycho, we got iJosh, we got Matt Jaworski, Haitian Bass, London Art Frogs. We got everybody, and we're going to just keep on going. I'm going to bring up your next wonderful comedian. He's wearing a pink shirt. Pardon me, it's Salmon. He's sexy. He can handle it. His name's Joel Timms. Woo! Joel Timms. Joel Timms.
Wish I had a sandwich.
Yo, did you say you had a sandwich?
Salmon shirt.
Oh, okay.
Salmon sandwich.
I'm not even on the thing. Yeah. Let's go on. There's 6 people in here. So, yeah, this is actually a new shirt, and I decided to wear it tonight. And just as I was about to leave, my son was going to bed. He just brushed his teeth. He gave me a hug. Right in the middle here, there's a little bit of a toothpaste stain from my son. So that was really cool of him. My son's been doing a lot of cool things in the last 24 hours. Last night he was sleepwalking. He walked out of his room, whipped his dick out, and pissed on the hallway floor. I'm not lying. I'm not making this up. This is true. And my wife just saw him doing it and started calling to him. And then he kind of woke up, put it away, and ran and got into his bed. And yeah, so that's the type of stuff that I've been up to lately.
How old is he?
He's almost 8.
Fuck yeah, man.
So, it's growing up. Last time I was here, I talked about how much I hate patios and patio season. And I realized that there's somebody that agrees with me out there, and that man is Jason Kenny. Because 2 days after I talked about that, all the patios got shut down. So
It's your fault.
if he keeps it up with the patios, he's got my vote in the next election. I don't care about the other stuff. Yeah, guys, I keep getting bees coming into my house. I know it's spring, right? It's not. But what happened to the good old days when you could just kill a bee? Why do we have to save the bees all of a sudden?
Save the bees.
Yeah, save the bees. The bee would come into my house, and you just stomp on it, and it's dead. Now I have to turn into David Attenborough. I have to narrate its life. I've got to feed it. I got to get some sugar water out. I have to go to the store, buy it flowers so it can, get the pollen and everything. It's ridiculous. This one fat bee came into my house 3 times in one day. I know it was the same bee. It looked the same. Okay, whatever. And I had to punish it, and so eventually, after the 3rd time, I just took it and put it in the freezer, and it's in a long time out right now. So, technically, I'm saving the bees for later. Yeah.
He's Austin Powers, that bee.
Screw those bees, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to tell that joke because people will get mad at me.
Tell
do
it,
it.
tell
No.
it, tell it.
No. Maybe I'll tell it on a podcast or something. Give people something to talk about. Also, you had me on the podcast.
Yeah.
You start asking me about my religion and everything. Then you have Ryan on the podcast and you're like, hey, say whatever you want, just make sure it's funny. I didn't get the say whatever you want, just make sure it's funny. You're just like, tell me about your religion. How was your mission? Tell me about your wife. How'd you meet her? Don't say anything funny at all. And now there's an hour-long video of me not being funny. And it's, I don't know what is hurting my reputation more, this or that, but
You're just such an interesting person, though. I just wanted to know more and more about you. I can't help that you are an interesting guy. You're more than just your comedy.
A podcast is not the time to get to know me better, okay? So guys, my neighbors don't like me. Big shocker. We've lived next to them for like 3 years. They've never invited me over to their house. And like we've had them over to our house plenty of times. Our kids are best friends. So my kids are invited to their house. For their son's birthday, they actually gave our son the invitation, and on the invitation it said no parents allowed. And I was like, okay, you know, whatever. It's a kids party.
Yeah.
And then I look over the fence. There's like 20 adults over there. And I'm just like,
The fuck?
yeah. And I went to like knock on the door to go pick up my kids. Like they didn't even like open the door fully. So they just kind of like shoved my kids out and they were like, okay. But I actually did get to go in their house like a couple weeks ago because they're selling it. And so they were having an open house and they asked me to go check on some things. So, I mean, I went in there and I spent the night.
Did they know?
Do they know? I don't. They got cameras. Yeah, he has like a lot of elk meat, so I cooked some of it, took some of it home. So I mean, like, they owe me, you know. Whatever. I don't care if your Facebook got hacked, Aunt Jackie. I'm not adding 2 accounts of you. Go delete your old account, and then I'll add the new one.
Yeah, Aunt Jackie.
What if my Aunt Jackie actually sees this? You know?
She'll be heartbroken.
Oh crap. So I've noticed there's some parallels to weightlifting and comedy. You guys might be able to relate to this. Why is it that when somebody starts working out and they lose like 5 pounds, like being fit and like they're now a personal trainer, right? Like it's their identity. It happened to me. I lost like 10 pounds. My Instagram became Joel T Fit, and I had 2 years worth of gym selfies to prove it. And I didn't want to get into that same habit in comedy because when people do like 2 sets, oh, they're a comedian now. Their Instagram bio, comedian. You're not a comedian. You're a delivery rep for Uber Eats. Okay?
Slam.
And why do all comedians have to be kettlebell experts? Like every comedian, anything that they're showing working out, oh, it's the kettlebell. Like you're not Joe Rogan, okay? You're not cooking on a Traeger. You do comedy sometimes. You're not even a comedian. You're not a trainer. You just work out. Now you give me, does this feel like a personal attack to you?
What just happened?
I don't know. There was more to that joke, and I don't want to like go and like read the whole thing. But
Sorry, dude. Go for it.
no, it's cool. Yeah, screw all you comedians, and any of you comedians watching. I don't like you.
Oh, especially if they work out.
Well, it depends. Some of you I like. There's some. I saw a thumbs up. Why are there only men comics? Where are all the ladies at? Tara just did like 10 minutes. What is that? Oh yeah. Also, Scott, you might be able to relate to this. If you make an album, but it's self-produced, it's called a mixtape. Ask any rapper, okay? Your album is not an album, it's a mixtape. You go sell it on the street. Okay? So if your comedy album is self-produced, it's a comedy mixtape. Right, Scott?
Fuck you.
I'm Joel Timms.
Woo! All right, give it up.
Personal real quick.
All right, bro.
Unless you're a Mormon.
Joel Timms. Yeah. He happens to be Mormon, but he's also the straightest shooter on this show. So he'll tell you like it is. Yeah, man, fucking patio season and bees. Oh my god. When I was working at the Harbourfront Center in back in the old Toronto there, we used to just put out a glass of beer with a piece of cellophane wrap over, and by the end of the day it had 17 dead bees in it. So I'm pretty sure I'm a murderer and I'm going to fucking 17 dead bee hell.
Why do we have to save the bees when they're trying to kill themselves every time they sting somebody?
Yeah. They're like miniature suicide bombers. Well,
Yeah.
Can I say that on here?
You just did.
Hey, speakeasy, you know?
You can say kamikaze.
Yeah. I
Oh wait,
can't.
no, you can't. Because they're Asian.
And also my roommate's Japanese. It's a little bit, it's soft.
Kamikaze bee.
It's a sore spot. Kamikaze bee. Good one. Scott Porteous, everyone. He's on the show tonight. Yeah, man. Getting self-righteous about exercise. I can relate. Yeah. Built different, you know? I've been working hard for like 11 minutes, so I know everything. Listen to me. I have opinions, and they're never wrong. And now I know what to call my mixtape because of you. I can't call it an album. Thank you. Joel Timms, you guys. Give it up for him again. Woo, what a treat. I'm so happy to have you back. I was so happy to have you on the podcast up until a few minutes ago. And check it out, you guys. Check out the podcast, Speakeasy Podcast. It's once a week. And I'm learning how to edit, so you can laugh at me for that. Ryan Butterfield is still not here, so we're just going to move right along to our next wonderful comedian. She's a lady, for everyone who's asking. Her name's Macy Taylor. Bring her up. Woo! Macy!
I'm coming, don't worry, I'm here. I'm coming. Just trying to get my shit together. The Macy Taylor story. It's never gonna happen. Hi! How's it going, everybody? Oh, wow. Ooh, okay. I was sitting on my balcony today, as you can probably tell, just looking at me, and when I was getting ready, I thought I would like my cheeks to match my blushing bosom. Wow, this is a bad sunburn. Hoping you guys are enjoying the lovely weather that we had for 20 minutes today. Let's see. So, I'm so glad we opened with sex, right? Yeah. I'm studying anatomy and physiology in university right now, and I just learned at 29 years old that sperm are male gametes and oocytes belong to females, right, Tara?
Yeah, that sounds right. Sounds about right.
Yeah, and I only bring that up because sex sells.
Jesus Christ.
Thank you so much. Let's see. I brought my little book with me, and I'm trying to bring it closer. So, like I just said, I'm almost 30. I'm going to be 29 in a few weeks, and one thing I wish I had learned when I was younger is all of the changes that you go through when you're 30. Like, I recently tried to stay up past midnight to watch the Northern Lights that have been happening. And the next day, I was hungover like a motherfucker. I did not have a drop of alcohol, didn't smoke any weed, didn't do any drugs, just stayed up past midnight. That's what fucking being 29 is all about, apparently. Like, I really do think it is quite racist that my mind gets better, but my body gets worse as I get older. Like, psychologically, I'm cool. I feel like I know myself really well, like I know my place in the world. I'm like seasoned and wise now, but I only have like 7 years left if I want to have a fucking family. What? That's not fair. I'm only getting exponentially cooler and my body's fucking tanking. Like, what is that about?
Oh, dude, you're gorgeous.
Thank you. Thank you. It's not gonna stop the clock though, am I right? How many periods do we get a year, Tara? 12, 13? Times that by 7, that's how many I have left to have a kid.
Okay.
Now I'm getting depressed. But,
Freeze your eggs.
freeze with your bees,
Yeah.
right?
Freeze the bees.
Freeze the bees, freeze the eggs, we're all gonna be okay.
The birds and the bees.
Sex sells.
Sex sales, baby! So when I was in my early 20s, I got married, and now I'm nearly 30 and I'm divorced, and
Woo.
yeah, fuck yeah, thank you. Like, I feel like Beyonce, like, I'm not sorry.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Sean. Anyways. Yeah, I am not sorry. But the thing is I didn't even know that I had herpes until after I was already divorced. And I know that sounds really, really sad, but like the fact that I got herpes after I divorced, I think really just emphasizes how much fucking fun I was having without my ex-husband. Like, I got incurable diseases. That is how good of a time I was having without him. Just throwing shade. And you know what? Like, getting older and, like, being single and having had a long relationship and now dating again, like, I don't even know how to date, really. It's very awkward because at this point in my life, like, I just don't care. I don't give a damn. Like, I know who I am, I know what I care about, but everything outside of that, ain't nobody got time for that. Like, the thing with herpes, and the reason why I bring it up, is, like, every time I go on a date with someone, I have to bring this up. And if I didn't, I would be a full psychopath, right? Like, you can't... I mean, you could fuck someone and not tell them you have herpes, but, like, it could literally ruin their fucking life, right?
Yeah.
You could really destroy them. So that's mostly why I always try to bring it up when I'm doing comedy, just because, you know, I don't want to spread herpes, I want to broadcast it, just so that if I happen to date any of you guys, it's already out of the way. Thank you! Woo! Why the hell not? Who's here? Yeah. Okay, you guys just joined. Hi, sorry.
Here's my test.
So Dave, this is Tara's OnlyFans, by the way. I'm just a special guest.
Yeah, give me that
so-
AstraZeneca.
Astral or anal Zeneca? Let's be real.
Well,
What are we looking at here?
I mean, you know already what I want.
So what is dating like at 29? Or rather, what is dating me like for anybody else? That is a really good question. I'm on this dating app called Satanic Mingle, but you guys know it as Tinder. Thank you very much. And my success there has been kind of like, mixed bag, you know. One of my coworkers stopped me recently and was like, "Oh shit, I saw your Tinder profile recently." And I was like, what kind of a conversation is this going to be? Because I don't want to date my coworkers. I love them, but like I don't want to fuck them, you know? Like that's just, it's too messy to fuck people you work with. And I kind of asked him, I was like, well, like, why are you asking me this? And he asked me, he's like, what is it like to have guys hit on you? And I was like, in what way? And he said, like, you don't give a fuck about anything. Like, that's your personality. He's like, so what do guys even say to you? And I was like, I wish I could tell you because they barely fucking talk to me. That's why I have to look like this to distract them. I'm just kidding.
Working.
It is working. Thank you very much. I can be as repulsive as I want. In fact, anybody interested in getting herpes this summer? I'm gonna start a new pandemic, baby. It's coming. So part of being the age that I am now and being on Tinder, I've kind of had this revelation because when I was younger and I used to see like way older people dating way younger people, I was always kind of grossed out. I was like, ew, like wouldn't you want someone your age to relate to? But now I see younger people and I'm like, oh, you have life in your eyes. Like the world hasn't fucked you over yet. You still have hope for the future. Oh, you're so beautiful. Like I get it. So I'm gonna try to start dating younger people. Is the point of that. That's it. Hello. Really? That time already?
Oh, a minute left.
A minute left?
Yeah.
Well, where do I go with this? So I work at the biggest homeless shelter in North America. Yep, impressive flex. I know, guys. If there's one thing you want to be able to brag about, it's that, right? Like, never mind your penises. They are nothing in comparison to where I work. So I work at this homeless shelter, and honestly, it's exactly what you think it is. Like, people getting in fist fights, eating out of the garbage, screaming about sandwiches at 3 a.m., and, like, that's just my boss, Colin. He's out of his fucking mind. If you think you have to have things not going your way to be at a homeless shelter, you don't even want to know the people who work there. We are complete degenerates. Let me see. So my boss, I told him some of my jokes last time, and I gave him an existential crisis because my material can be quite dark. And one thing he asked me was, you can say anything you want, and you say that. And I was just like, well, what the fuck do you expect from me? I wear all black, I've got massive bags under my eyes, I'm divorced. What, you look at me and you think, oh, you're a ray of fucking sunshine? Who did you think I was, sir? So I decided to take the day off today, because work was really stressful yesterday, and seeing as how fucked up my job is, sometimes I don't necessarily have normal coping mechanisms. Like, one of the guys that I'm, I guess, like, seeing decided to take my mind off things by sending me a documentary on how people in Northern Colombia fuck donkeys.
Keep
And it did cheer me right up. Thank you so much, sir. It's my vice. I suggest you guys check it out. Anyways, Tara gave me the light. My set's over. Good night.
Woo! Macy Taylor!
AC.
Fuck yeah, dude!
Hooray for herpes.
Alright!
Oh my god, fucking donkeys in Colombia. What about goats in just like Grand Prairie?
Seen a donkey?
Like, I don't know, horses in rural Ontario. That's where I grew up. Yeah.
Fucking horse is that?
My grandparents actually took us to the breeders once, and I watched horses fuck. It's very violent. Like, I don't think that's consensual. I don't know. My tummy feels weird, Grandma.
Yes or nay?
Yeah, I get a hangover from chocolate, you know? You were talking about getting a hangover from just watching the Northern Lights. You're like, oh my god, it's like cosmic rays, and I'm just like, chocolate. Not the same, but Tinder, yeah. Oh yeah, you were talking about how you don't date people from work, and I relate to that, you know, sort of. I have a rule, it's called the one dick per circle. And it kind of guarantees that if I've had sex with you, then you probably can't name one other person that you know that I've had sex with. And I like it that way. So I'm gonna keep doing it, you know? However, you know, if you do know the other person, it's because you really fucked up. So hide your best friend, you know? Okay. So we're going to move right along to good old Ryan Butterfield here. He's here, and he's here to defend his honor against Joel Timms in the Speakeasy feud of something you guys had going on. You haven't played football in a long time. Your head is small. Let's see what happens. Ryan Butterfield. Give it up.
Yeah, thank you. What are we talking? I don't even know what's going on here. Joel, do we not get along, Joel? I feel like we don't see each other enough to hate each other, so, you know, I don't get that. I don't know. All right.
The feud is strong.
I just see you posting videos above my head.
That was like a year ago.
Never forget.
That was 3 months ago, I think.
Okay.
Aw.
I just thought it was Tara trying to get views for her podcast.
Please watch it. Please, God, for God, watch it.
Okay. Alberta's opening up. Yeah. No, all of you are just like, no, I liked it when people weren't around.
Pretty much.
I noticed when I started noticing like the world's trying to get better and starting to get back to what it was. I first noticed it when like I watched the news and like I saw like a building in Gaza explode. I'm just like, oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that's the way it used to be. The world is getting back to the way it used to be. And then I saw like a Jewish guy get stomped out at a protest. And I'm like, oh, yeah, everything's back to normal. It feels like.
Whoa. Oh my God.
Yeah.
This feels so good.
Yeah, you know, but it was depressing. It was depressing, like, you know, that the COVID got so bad, like the Jews and Muslims forgot how much they hate each other. Like now it's back to normal. You know, it's comforting. Yeah.
Free Palestine.
Yeah. Me and cheese are done. I'm done with dairy. I fucked up my body too much. I can't eat it anymore. Like I had pizza today, and I'm just like, I felt sick, and I'm just like, oh, I'm not gonna be able to have pizza for years. Like this is the last pizza. It was Domino's. I'm like, I didn't even go out with like good pizza. Like, I'm like it was years and years of like nacho cheese, microwave nachos, and like eating ice cream like straight out of the bucket, and like lasagna, and like eating Fruit Loops for dinner, and I just realized today I'm just like, oh, it's over. Like I've ruined it. I've ruined everything. Like my life is one way, and now it's another way now, and I messed up by getting Domino's as my last going out party. I feel like if you adopt a kid, like that's the only time you can say, well, if he turns into a fuck up, like that's the only time you can be like, well, it's obviously not my fault if you're a parent. Like, if you adopt a kid and he's a fuck up because he's just like, no, I was just leasing him for 18 years. Like, the other renters, they fucked him up, like they abandoned him, or like maybe he was shitty. We don't know the full story. I bought him in an orphanage. It was early model, 1994. It's just like no diseases.
Shock of hair.
Yeah.
Strong knees.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I saw I've been trying to focus on my health. I saw something that made me feel better about my health, because I've always struggled with my weight, and then I looked up black biker gangs on YouTube once, and then there was the Black Biker Week at Myrtle Beach. There are some fat bastards at Black Biker Week at Myrtle Beach, and I'm just like, you know what, I'm in pretty good shape compared. Things could be a lot worse.
You are, dude.
Yeah.
Check out those guns.
Yeah.
All right. You're like, no.
No. Geese are I feel like geese are assholes because
So
Canadian geese are assholes because I feel like they're the national bird. Which worst national bird in the world? I feel like a geese. Like America's got the eagle, and then we got what do you have? We have a mixed gender goose, black and white, a mixed race goose, black and white, and it goes around and just hissing at people, walking around in neighborhoods, just pissing people off, and I think because they know that they're protected, they just do that. They're walking around like a main character in a Scorsese film, and and you're just like, hey, yeah, fuck you can't do nothing, I'm a made man. I'm protected by the government. Everybody, the violence in Israel and Palestine is horrific, and then the violence in in North America is bad. The UK always complains about the violence in North America, but UK violence is way stupider, I feel. You know what I mean? Because they have they have gangs devoted to soccer clubs. So that means somebody can get killed over a 0-0 tie. You know what I mean? That's why I never tried to stab somebody over a 0-0 tie, and and it's just ridiculous. Here, we kill each other for noble reasons, like drugs and race. But in England, they have gangs devoted to the town two towns over was 0-0. I had to go turn somebody into the Joker with a knife. Yeah, I've been writing darker stuff.
It's fucking rad, man. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. I don't. My brother's getting married, and I don't really care. I don't know. It's hard to care. I feel like women care more about the wedding, I think, than more than men. Because like everybody kind of gets married, right? But like it's just, you know, I'm happy for them, but like, you know what it is? It's because we're poor, and poor people's weddings suck because they just do it in the backyard, and you have to do all the yard work for them because you're the best man. You know what I mean? I don't know. My uncle got married in his backyard and now he's divorced. I don't know if that's related, but you know, I feel like yeah, he wasn't smart. Like he married a girl that he was cheating with. That she was cheating with him, and then she ended up cheating on him later on. And then I'm just like, well, this is how you met. Violence. I feel like the violence in soccer games is good, but I need to word it better because everybody was horrified. But it's really funny. I see the light.
Okay.
Just give me a sec. I'm trying to.
Sorry.
trying to figure out something else I want to talk about. I think I covered everything pretty much. I don't. I don't know. It's I have a hard time explaining that photo to people.
What photo, Ryan?
That picture of like that self-portrait of you naked with your period blood.
What?
Yeah, that's what that is. If you didn't know, I explained that to a friend of mine, and she's just like, "Wait, are you sure?" It's a very confusing place, this room.
What else confuses you here?
What else confuses me? I don't know. The owl skull is kind of like, did you kill it yourself?
Yes.
I mean, you got the lights up. This was like every college dorm. I don't know. I can't. I think I'm done. I ran my course. I can't improv right now because I finished like a 10-hour shift. So you guys have been a fantastic audience. Thank you so much. I miss you too, Jess. Love you.
Just like her.
Is he there?
Thanks, Brad.
Yeah.
Oh.
Jess, yeah, man. Hey, good to see you. I saw
the notification for Reckless come up on my phone. Good times, man. Never forget. Never forget. Totally. Okay, so the story behind that self-portrait is, it's not a self-portrait. I was dating a girl for 5 months back a few years ago, and we were in a show together called The Coming Out Monologues, and she painted that picture with her period blood and some earth and some wind and fire. There were some other elements that went into it.
With it?
Yeah, and she told it because I helped produce the show, and we were doing it at what's that place in Banff called Wild Bill's, and Wild Bill's has like a health code, and they're like, yeah, we can't let her paint something with period blood in here, and I was like, okay, I'll tell her. So I told her, and she's like, okay, yeah, no problem, and then she just still totally did it because that's her style, and I love it, and it's of me, and it looks like I have tits and a dick, which is it's pretty accurate, you know, built different. So yeah, man, thank you so much, Ryan Butterfield, for being up here. Good to see you, man. Thanks for being here. You were talking about Fruit Loops earlier. I put water in my cereal. It's not related, but I do it because it's a waste of milk. Just put water in there, you know. We're in our 30s now, okay?
That's a waste of Fruit Loops.
You know, everyone. There's different camps of thought on this subject.
No,
okay?
there aren't.
And my shut up, Joel Tibbs. You fucking regular-sized head bastard. Also, my brother's married, and I used to make jokes that I don't care. I do care. I really like his wife. She's a nice person. Anyways, that's all I had to say. I'm just going to go ahead and bring up your next comedian. We have the wonderful... okay, so the producer and the host of the comedy workshop, they're on their 350th or 360th episode.
Something like that.
Something like that. You guys have just been rocking it this past year. Thank you so much for believing in comedy and for running that workshop, Scott. I've been on it twice. It's so fun. Let's bring a warm welcome for Mr. Scott Porteous.
Yay.
Woo!
Oh, thank you. This is so I wrote a lot, but I don't remember it. It's like I'm prolific, but I'm not mnemonic. That's a word. So bear with me. I'm gonna try here. Fucking too tall, Tara. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, but
Oh, crouch. It's fine. That's fine. I get it. I got it. It's good. It's good.
you look great. What are you saying?
Yeah, that's the first time I heard that. Okay. Okay, so speaking of which, I actually, I don't know if anybody can be familiar with, I've been catfished last year. Yeah, that's the worst, right? And like, I'm not fucking Fabio, I get it, right? But like, I'm at least a 6 in Canada, okay? And like, the way I can describe this person was like way too much makeup, like way too much. Like the way I can describe how she applies makeup, it's the same way somebody approaches a competitive pie eating competition. It's just
Oh my god.
right. Like she looked like this. I'm making a dated reference here, but she looked like Dee Snider from Twisted Sister, right? And she was gonna give me a refund for the sex, and I was like, I'm not gonna take it. So that's a pun and a dirty story, and I'm not ashamed of any one of those things. I'm not like a lot of like I sort of a bunch of random jokes. So I'm not left-handed, but I throw with my right like I am. So it's like my right hand is like USA. And my left hand is like Hiroshima. Hang on, there's more to that. I can't help but wonder, I'm committing to this, it's fine. I can't help but wonder if it's called the land of the rising sun because it's in the far east, or if it carries the same amount of radiation. Too soon? Okay.
It's been like more than 50
Exactly, you know, it's... You guys can go dark, but I'll go fucking history dark. Okay, definitely not a southpaw though. Which is, by the way, like it's weird to like. Okay, so apparently, if you're left-handed, it's southpaw, right? And if you're right-handed, it's northpaw, right? Which sounds like the lamest fucking civil war ever. Like just no soldier, just hand puppets, right? That's something I would watch in a theater. No, I wouldn't because the actors might go rogue. History jokes, that's fine, whatever. Should have stuck with more 80s bands. Alright. Like on a political spectrum, like left-wing thought is based on like, you know, freedom, equality, and rights, which explains like the the trials in Salem to a T, you know, like, hey, women should get paid as much as men. Witch! Right? Where the right wing is based on things like authority, hierarchy, and order, so, you know, communism. It's like the right hands are China, and left hands are free thought and more than 2 children. So you're kind of long now. I'll change it up a bit because I feel like I started tenchy. So like, I like movies. One of my favorite movies is Braveheart. And one of the most famous scenes in Braveheart is when William Wallace is like addressing all the troops and like, you know, is like talking to all of them, which I want to call bullshit, because I don't care if you're like fucking 7 feet tall, shoot fireballs out of your eyes and bolts of lightning out of your ass. There's no fucking way you're gonna be able to talk to thousands and thousands of people on a fucking horse just by yelling at the top of your fucking lungs. Okay, like at most maybe 100, right? And then at that point, behind the line are probably like, did he just say he could take a wife, but we can't have our dreams? No, I think he said he could take our kites, but we'll never take our semen. Purple monkey dishwasher. Like I don't call it continuity here on that one. That was less offensive, I feel. Also legit. I feel like the last word he used before he got executed. Okay, that was very like, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, you know, prideful or fucking whatever, right? But like, I feel like, what's the word I'm looking for? Hang on, call me phone.
Freedom.
No, defiant. That's a word. So it was very defiant. Like his last word being like freedom, right?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
But I feel like there's more defiant words you can use before you die, like go fuck yourself, or Brits are bitches. Those would be equally fine too. And I feel like, but I gotta give props to like William Wallace, because even in like death he was clean. Like if executions were ever corporate or like he'd be a clean fucking comic if he was. Yeah, a racist. Mel Gibson not so much because he's racist.
Slam.
Slamming on history and Mel Gibson. I mean, they kind of go hand in hand. I'm gonna talk about charades now. Believe it or not, everybody who hasn't said they haven't played charades, they play charades. Everybody has played charades. Like if you if you flip the bird to somebody, you're playing charades, right? If you're making sexual gestures to somebody, you're playing charades. If you support your government, you're definitely fucking playing charades, because nobody wants to do that. But here's the thing: most of the population has played charades. But I'll tell you, one group of people who haven't, or at least shouldn't, anybody involved in a Legion or a VFW, because you need at least 2 arms to do a movie title. Right. No, it's science actually, because you gotta do this part. Okay. So and then also, not to mention the PTSD that would ensue. All right, movies. Charlie's Angels. Charlie's where? Okay. So history jokes again. I should be a teacher. I know. This one I have to read because this is a long. So sometimes I also wonder if the hearing impaired view people playing charades like posers. Because sign language isn't necessarily as simple as people make it come out to seem, right? For example, when people want to give an applause, for clapping, they do this, right? It's not like this, right? Which is it's not what you think it is. I thought it was rough sex, but apparently it's school in sign language. It means school or something like that, right? And then I can't help but wonder, if hearing impaired people view people playing charades in the same way that black people view a white person rapping a Jay-Z or DMX. You better not drop the M-bomb. And I don't know sign. And I'm not going to say the word because it's a defensive term of the most offensive term you can call someone hearing impaired. I won't say what it is, but it is on your remote control if you want the sound to be off. I'm almost done. I was talking about movies earlier and comedy. Comedians, a lot of movies. Robin Williams was actually in a really good movie. It was in Peter Pan and Hook. He played the role of Peter Pan, and Robin Williams was such a great method actor, right? Because even 30 years after the movie, he's not going to grow up.
Oh my God. Rest in peace. Oh my God.
I'll do one more.
Oh God.
I try my best not to save any lives because I don't like to play God. I don't want to think anyone to think I have a complex or anything. It's not my place to decide one's fate, which is why I'll never adopt a rescue because it seems just like a dick move. Right. Also, I'm concerned about what if I saved the wrong life? What if that one pug that I saved happened to be responsible of the genocides of millions of cats? Which is why I believe in the butterfly effect and why I only kill caterpillars. That was a lighter joke to end on, better than everything else I said. Thanks, people. Sorry.
Woo! Sorry. All right. Good job, buddy.
Oh, thank you. Right.
Scott Porteous, you guys. I keep almost calling you Scott Dumas, but you're not him. You're a different Scott.
I'm not Belford either.
Yeah, you're not Scott Speedman. Remember that guy from the movie Underworld, and he plays half Lycan, half vampire, abomination. Bill Nye. Remember that? Yeah, you guys remember. My impersonations, man, they're fucking on point. Mel Gibson. What Women Want was recently on Netflix.
Fuck.
You cannot make that movie today. Yeah, it was hard to watch. But I remember loving that movie so much back when it came out,
Awesome.
It's such a great movie. Mel Gibson reminds me so much of my dad. In a good way. Well, kind of in a bad way too. What'd you say? What'd you say, Ren?
What?
Wait, nothing. He left early. So, you know what? We're just gonna keep on trucking along here, you guys. Did someone spill something here? Or maybe I'm wetting my own pants? We're gonna bring up our headlining comedian. He hasn't been here for quite some time, so it's such a pleasure to have him back. Give him a round of applause, you guys. Mr. Braden Leahy.
Hey!
Hey there, buddy.
Hey, how's it going?
Hi.
I am very well lit. That is unfortunate.
You look great.
I'm very pasty. When the fuck did we agree on the headlining? I don't remember. This was a poor move on your part. Like, this is really
I make
wow.
no
This
mistakes.
is not going to be a good one. I agree. I hate it when people take pictures of their like vaccine, especially with the Band-Aid. It's like the I voted sticker of COVID.
Yeah.
Fucking sucks. Also, don't feel bad about the herpes. Fucking like wear that shit on your sleeve. Like I look at herpes like it's a bad tattoo on your ass. You look at it, it's like, man, that is ugly, but that was a good night though. Joel was talking about his kid whipping his dick out and pissing on stuff. Years ago I was an alcoholic, so I did that a lot in my 20s. So you know, don't feel bad. Most of alcoholism is whipping your dick out where it should not go.
That's
And
so true.
if you're looking at me as like, he's pasty and alcoholic, he must be, you know, Irish. I'm not alcoholic because I'm Irish. I'm violent because I'm Irish. But I'm also French, which makes me a coward. Fuck you, buddy! Truce. Me and my mom were doing, we were looking into like our family heritage, and this will surprise you if you're, you know, looking at me, but it turns out my great-grandma was full-on East Indian. Where the fuck did the melanin go? I burn if I look at the sun. Like, but since I found out that I am, you know, Indian, I just want to say to the people online, to my fellow people of color, I get it.
Yeah, sure.
No, I fucking don't. Don't you hate it when people do that? They find like a smidgen of oppression in their blood and all of a sudden they're Gandhi. I'm 1/16th Cherokee. Yeah, Becky, take that fucking headdress off. Coachella ain't the place for it and you're not the face for it.
Oh, slam Becky.
Yeah, that was, I did not mean to rhyme that. That was, wow.
Yeah.
Headliner. So I work in construction, which is weird because like, construction sites are a fucking disaster. Like, we all have that assumption about trades guys, right? Like, they're, you know, they're kind of racist,
Yeah.
they're sexist,
Yeah.
xenophobic, you know, they're kind of dumb, and I'm here to just put that to rest and say it's totally true. It is 100% true. It is absolutely ironclad true. Like, we all live in the year 2021, but on any construction site, it is 2001. And I mean like, September 12th, 2001, when anger was at its height. You can get away with anything at a construction site. Like, there's still grab-assing happening there. That's fucking horrifying. Limp Bizkit is playing all the time. Which is horrible for different reasons. And like, oh man, and they say the word retarded so often.
Oh,
Like, it's retarded. And like, by the way, the best attempt to tackle, because like, I really don't like saying retarded. I like that we're trying to watch what we say, but the best episode of television ever made tackling that issue was CSI. It was an episode where there's this ranch and a guy with Down syndrome is murdered there. And so the investigators go to this ranch and they're investigating and they're doing the interviews, and the guy who totally didn't do it, what did it matter? He's just a retard. Now, you're not even fucking trying to get away with it, buddy. If I run over all the members of Nickelback, I'll have some of their CDs in the car just to throw them off the scent. Like, oh no, I love them. I love Rockstar. But the reason why this is the best episode of television ever made, at the end when they finally find out that he did it, the lead investigator goes up to him and is like, you know, Cletus, it's always Cletus. The definition of the word retarded means to delay or hold back. Your life is about to become retarded. And not enough people talk about that! This is a real episode, aired in 2003. I watched it when I was 8, and I've remembered it ever since. It's not leaving my brain.
Takes off the glass.
Your life is about to become retarded. Another fucked up thing about construction sites, and this is shit I don't like, is like homophobia, transphobia. Just get the fuck over it. Like, it's not a big deal. I work with guys who aren't on board with that. Like, I work with this guy. This is real. This guy told me, he's like, wait, okay, so if a girl wants to become a guy, does she like get to pick the size? Because I think that's cheating.
Oh my god.
And I hope they do, just to fuck with that guy.
Yeah.
Like, just like, no, dick's bigger than mine. I can't focus on anything other than that painting now. It's so red. How did you gather that much? Did you just squat over a paint can like once a month for like 2 years?
We're gonna have to show people at the end.
No, I don't think we should do that at all. Yeah. But I was talking about like transphobia. Like the easiest fucking acronym to memorize is LGBTQ+. That's it. Like we can name C3PO, R2D2 in that order, and that's more digits, and it's got numbers in it. Like some of the guys I work with, they're like, it's too many letters, like it's just letters put in a random order. I'm like, yeah, that's what words are. Put in a song if it's so difficult. LGBTEFG fuck. I got my vaccine. I didn't brag about it because I'm a person.
Yeah.
It has made my arm a little stiff. It's basically Viagra for your arm. But I was talking to a guy at work and he's like, dude, you can't put that junk in your body. You can't put those chemicals in your body. What are you doing? Okay, Terry, you smoke meth every night, so don't fucking come to me about what chemicals you're putting in your body. At least when I, take a hit of the Pfizer, I still get to keep all my teeth, you fucking, gum-jawed jackass. You meth-mouthed motherfucker. Fuck you, Terry. Real guy. Hope you're watching.
Fuck Terry.
Fuck Terry. Oh, man. Like, as I mentioned, I had a drug problem and an alcohol problem, and this is where the TED Talk begins. And it was pretty bad. Honestly, when Ryan was talking about his relationship with food, you did to your body with food what I did to my body with drugs. And you're disappointing, last time. It's like, the last pizza I'm having is fucking Domino's. The last hurrah I had was a combination of crack, fentanyl, and Lucky Lager. And Lucky is the thing I'm most ashamed of. That's the most disappointing part of it. It's like, oh yeah, you did fentanyl, that makes sense. Oh my god, you drank Lucky? Did you also drink AGD while you're at it? And do you guys remember the don't do drugs commercials? Those not even once. Not even once. My favorite one is this girl is getting ready to go to a party and she's like, yeah, Todd's gonna be there. He's apparently gonna bring the crystal. It's gonna be fun. And then she hears a sound in her shower, and she peers it open, and her older self is sitting in the shower, and she's all methed out, and she's shaking. She's like, "Don't go to the party!" Ah! Not even once. When I watched that as a kid, I'm like, "Oh my god, meth lets you time travel?" Fuck, I gotta do that shit. By the way, if that's how they travel through time and Back to the Future, Marty McFly definitely would have fucked his mom. And then he would have blown Biff. Speaking of drugs and sex, perfect timing. Yeah. Speaking of drugs and sex, this is true. I used to be a literal coke whore.
Oh.
Let that sink in.
Okay.
Which is what I would say on those nights.
Oh my god.
It's true. I used to have sex with my dealer for drugs, and she would give them to me, and I would go away. And every now and then I'll tell that story to people, and they're like, "Wow, you're a real stud." I'm like, I don't think you've ever had coke sex. Coke sex is anywhere between 2 to 6 hours of shoving half-hard rope into a mostly dry hole. It's only doggy style, because I'm not gonna look you in the eye while I'm hating myself. Absolutely not. You secrete so many fluids, not the one that you want. It's like the lake on her back is a combination of snot from the nasal damage, sweat because I'm dehydrated, and tears because I hate myself.
Oh my
It's just non-stop ow, cry, my dad wasn't around.
Yeah.
It's nothing but tears and tears, which is either Tears and Tears is either the worst name for a strip club or the best name for a maternity ward.
Oh god.
That's all I got, folks. Thank you very much.
Holy shit, bro. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thanks for being on.
Hey.
Okay, well, I think I'm tearing up and I might be torn somewhere. After that set, oh my god. Yeah, man. Thank you so much for being on the show, Brayden. You never fucking disappoint, bro. That was lovely. Thank you so much. You guys, yeah, we're getting all types of love right now. Bro Funk, what's up, Kelsey? Spirits Animal, a crisp new bill, 100%. Full sploosh, this guy, my little brother has a huge crush on you. Yeah, my friend Sarah Lyon, Don Philipchuk, No Champagne Poppy, Marito, Haitian Bass, Claude Hupper. You guys, thank you so much for joining the live tonight, and thank you so much for supporting live comedy. This was the anniversary show. This is it. You saw it live. This is 1 year in the making, and we're finally here. And hey, you know what? At the beginning of the show, I put a link in the what do you call it? The group chat here. I put a link at the beginning. If you want me to be able to pay these wonderful comedians for their time tonight because they are so talented and took time out of their day today to be here, then I want you to donate $5, $10, $20 million to the GoFundMe so that we can keep doing comedy, you guys. Keep doing this for another year. Thank you so much for joining on the live, and give yourself a round of applause, guys. Thank you so much. Happy anniversary. Woo-hoo! We're a jolly good piece. We're jolly good. All right, let's get out of here. Peace out, you guys. Thanks for watching.
Woo! Nobody can deny.
Yeah. Hey, you guys, it's 9/11. The time, not the date.
That was